Yo, what's up, guys? It's Talon. Today we're going to be coaching a Grandmaster Peak support and mid lane player. So he kind of wants to learn all roles, and that's sort of part of the point of the coaching. We're coaching him both on a support game and then on a mid lane game, focusing a lot around lane phase in both support and mid lane, understanding wave management properly, and then understanding the idea of how to come back as well, especially in the mid lane game. So if you're interested in any of those things, definitely stick around. Other than that, link in the description to a Google Doc, which gives you information for every key concept that you need to understand with Wild Rift and videos associated with them. And then additionally, also information on my coaching in the link in the description as well. $25 for an hour of coaching, or just DM me on Discord, Talon1169, if you're interested. And anyways, let's get right into the video. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Peak Ranks Grandmaster 1. Last season I took like 2 months off and I probably could have got Challenger.
Yeah.
So I kind of just took a break from the game because I wanted to. Um, but yeah, I think I probably could have got Challenger.
So is that kind of the goal this season, or?
I don't really have a goal for a rank. Like I think Sovereign would be cool, but
Mm-hmm.
really I'm more concerned about just improving in general. And then I want to get good at every role too, kinda, but
Yeah.
I know that's a lot for each role. So,
So are you doing
but when
support
I
today,
started,
or are you?
yeah, support today. Well, I'm doing one support and one mid lane with you, I'm hoping.
Okay.
So, um, but yeah, I think I want to get good at every role. Um, just because I think it's more fun to be versatile. Like you kind of inspired me with the 5 role sovereign thing,
Yeah.
which was super cool. But obviously, like you've been, you're just way better. So,
Well, yeah, it's taken a lot of time. Like
um,
initially, I played one role per season, like 2 years
yep.
ago or whatever. So like I would recommend basically every
So
season or every month choosing a role, right? Because when you play one role for one day, then you go to the next, you go to the next, it's very hard to actually like build any consistent habits. So it's, in my opinion,
sure.
better to do it in that way. And then like a season or two from now, you'd be just like you could play every role, queue autofill at that point. But obviously, whatever works for you.
No, so that's what I did because I started probably like 3 or 4 seasons ago at this point.
Yeah.
And when I first started, I started in Baron Lane, and and then I moved to mid lane the next season, and then
Mm.
so like I know like every role a little bit, and then I was like jungle. You actually coached me on a Diana jungle, uh, a while ago, probably
Did you
like
have
a
a
year
different
ago at this
Discord? Because
point.
I thought this Discord you just DM'd me was like, or did you have the same
Yeah, so I
Discord?
deleted my Discord.
Okay,
So
okay,
yeah,
that makes sense.
and then yeah, I made a new one. Just because I was focusing on life goals at the time, and I was trying to eliminate distractions, but
Yeah, I got you.
obviously that kind of ruins some of the other stuff. But yeah, you've coached me in a Diana game before, and you coached me when I was support before.
Okay.
Um, well, like I've played for a while, like I've had plenty of games, so at this point, I want to just like figure out what I need to get even better at. So,
Mm. Okay.
um, cool.
Yeah, we can go
Well,
into the replay then.
yeah, let's do this one. This was a close game till the end,
Are you
and I
duo with the
feel like
Misfortune, by the way?
I am, yeah.
What's the reasoning for choosing Lulu with Misfortune?
So he normally picks Sivir, and I
And
wasn't
you
paying
just thought he was
attention.
gonna. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say this is a really
So
bad combo, so if we're duo, there's probably no reason to do it. But yeah,
nope. Yeah, no, no. I originally thought he'd pick Sivir. So
gotcha. Is this the game you were 2-0-21?
correct, yeah.
Okay. So do
But
you
like it
feel like
starts
there's a
out
lot
really.
like still? You should follow your champion,
But
but do you feel like there's still
yep,
like a
yep.
lot? I mean, it seems like it's like a game you do well in that like, which like I'm fine with seeing a game you do well in, but I mean a game you don't die that seems to be pretty smooth. I don't know if you're gonna learn as much. Also, it's the blue one on the top, the Fog of War, the blue one. Yeah.
Yep.
If you think
So
like there were
I-
things specifically you wanted to learn from this game, then it's different. But otherwise,
so it was a close game all the way to the end, and I want to just see if there's something I can do to not make it as close.
okay.
Um, because I think I played well, but the rest of my team didn't, and I want to see if there's anything I can do for my team and obviously myself too, because I want to take full. I don't want to blame teammates. I want to take full responsibility
Yeah.
for what I can do better. So I have this one, and then I have a losing Heimer Dinger
Mm.
game that I want to. check out with you. So
Yeah, and are you like, do you communicate with this ADC? Like, are you talking to him during the game, or do you talk to him at all, or is it just like a
no,
random person from your friends list?
I have talked to him before, but we didn't talk this game.
Okay.
So
Well, the thing is, like, we don't want to be going through River level 1, especially not in a matchup like with the Enchanters. Enchanters, like, really like getting on lane right away, focusing on Prio
okay,
initially. Because instead here, they were able to get on the wave first, even though they have melee champion, and then also your focus on the wave doesn't really make sense there. We want to focus really, really hard as the 2 range champions into a melee to use our range. Because, like, Caitlyn doesn't actually outrange you in this game because her support doesn't outrange, so you guys can both just auto Caitlyn for free. But instead, you auto one Malphite a lot, so you should probably pause here. There's kind of a lot of things to talk about level 1. So
yeah,
the first thing is we need to get on the wave first. We want to take control of the wave. You know what Prio is? Just want to make sure the terminology
yep,
is. Yeah. So we want to get Prio level 1 in pretty much every matchup. And then
okay.
the only time
So are
you
you
don't want prio is like if the lane matchup is so impossible that they can really easily freeze on you. So like say you're like Yumi or even so you could be Lulu Vayne into Draven Thresh. Like in that case, maybe you'll be a bit more relaxed because they're going, to really fuck you. But unless it's
sure?
that hard of a matchup, we almost always want to focus on getting on the wave before the wave actually reaches in the mid lane, which is why we want to go straight through the
Okay,
lane rather than the river, which is why I asked about communicating with your teammate, because you want to
sure.
try to make sure he
Yeah, I
knows that as
norm
well.
okay. Yeah, I normally go through river there just to protect them from warding a deep ward, but you would say that doesn't matter just to go straight to lane.
You're scared of the enemy warding a deep ward.
Yeah, I have it happen pretty frequently, but they're probably bad players if they're doing that because they should push the wave first and then ward.
But yeah, the first
So,
thing is you will know that they'll ward it because you'll have a control ward most of the time if your jungle does what they should.
oh yeah, yeah.
If your
Okay,
jungle doesn't do what they should, the only information gained from that ward is your jungler's pathing. It's nothing like insane.
okay,
Like yes, obviously, we don't want them to know where their jungler is, but it's not like you're gonna
sure.
like lose the game off that or even really anything that substantial. It's just a small thing. And then you get on the wave first, which means you'll fuck them in lanes. So like that's not like a good trade for
Got
them
it.
taking a ward just to have complete control of the lane. So yeah, and
Okay,
you're right. Yeah, the push the wave first, then you can ward after. That's a more valuable thing to do anyway. So that's
okay.
the
Nope, that makes
initial
sense.
thing is the don't go through river. If you're with a random, this is why I asked about do it. If you're with a random and he goes through river, you should follow because you don't want him to die. But
Okay,
if you can coordinate with a teammate, then we want to obviously get to lane first. So there's
okay.
that.
Nope, that makes sense.
Yeah. I still had more things to talk about with this. Sorry, there's
Oh
like
yeah,
that's why I said
no,
pause because
no,
there's more than just that. There's also so you're not abusing the fact that you have better range, and when we have better range, when we're into like a melee champion as a range champion, we need to understand the levels that the melee champions can be scary at. And Malphite
sure.
isn't scary till level 5 because he doesn't have his ult, but most engaged tank supports are going to be scary at level 2 or level 3. Like Alistar, not scary at level 1
Yep,
because he can only take W, but he has WQ at level 2. Leona, not scary at level 1
yep.
because she can only have E, but she can have EQ at level 2. Thresh is maybe a little scarier, Nautilus a little scary level 1, but even those champions, they're way better on level 2. So the point is we need to take
Okay,
advantage of level 1 since that's pretty much the strongest point for these double range matchups. And then we also need to
okay.
understand in this case, you don't really want to be autoing Malphite a bunch
Malphite.
because of his
Yeah.
shield. Now, like, if there's nobody to auto, you can just sit there and auto him. But
Right.
ideally, we're going on the Caitlyn. So, like, when the Malphite started targeting you and the Caitlyn was autoing, you just walk up and hit Caitlyn with your teammate rather than getting
Okay.
hit by Malphite. And then also, your spacing was just like, you have
Not great.
3 times as much range as Malphite, and he's auto-attacking you. He shouldn't be able to auto-attack you at all.
Sure.
So
Yep.
those are kind of the things. Does that make sense? Any questions on that?
No, that makes perfect sense. Yep.
Okay.
So obviously, whenever you have like a tank range matchup, like always go after the ADC if you can, pretty
No.
much. Okay.
No. Malphite shield means that you don't do damage to him until you get like
Okay,
4
got
auto
it.
attacks on him and an
Got
ability,
it. Okay.
which just means that he's going to be tanking it for so long. It's the same as like if a Leona uses W. Do you know what Leona W does?
Yeah, it's a shield, right?
Well, it gives her way more resistances. It's not like a literal shield. She doesn't get a
Okay.
shield, but she gets way more resistances, so she takes very little damage. Or
Sure.
Nautilus W is a shield. And the point is,
Yep.
all of these abilities, we don't want to start damaging people when they have these things up. The only time you would damage
Right.
Malphite is when, do you know how Malphite passive
It's
works, the shield?
Yeah, no, I don't, and that's probably something I need to get better at too. Is like I don't know every single champion and what they do. I
And that's
pretty much
fine. This isn't
know.
like a game losing thing that you, but I'll just explain it.
Right.
If, basically, he gets a shield every 8 seconds that he's not in combat. So if he's not in combat, and he like took a bunch of damage, the shield will come back. I think it's 8 seconds. I might be wrong with the number, but I think it's 8 seconds.
Yeah.
But if you damage him after 7 seconds and he doesn't have his shield up, it will take 8 more seconds to regenerate unless he keeps taking damage.
Got it. Yeah.
So basically, it's either like we're getting damage on him very consistently, or but like what you're doing, you're poking his shield out and then you're giving him 8 seconds. Then it's like it's
Right.
not really doing
That's
anything.
dumb. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, basically the point is, yes, generally you are right that like you want to target the ADC. Most of the time this is the case because they're easier to kill, and most of the time we want our damage all on one person. Like we'd way rather have
Right.
one person 20% HP than 2 people 60%, because obviously the one at 20 is like very likely to die, but 2 at 60 they can
Right.
live pretty easily. So generally we do want to
Right.
focus our targeting on one person. A lot of times that's going to be the ADC. Even into a lot of enchanters, it's often the ADC, unless it's like a Soraka, because Soraka heals only her teammate, not herself, so you want to target her. But
Right.
yeah, generally you wanna focus your targeting on that. And then also you guys had a lot of opportunities to create like basically a triangle on people where you and Misfortune are auto attacking Caitlyn, while Caitlyn can
Yep.
only auto one of you, and Malphite can't auto either of you because he's melee.
Right.
But you didn't really take much advantage of that. Like again, whenever your
Advantage of
Misfortune
that,
was turning
yeah.
on them, because a lot of times people get very scared against a Caitlyn. And I know we're talking about this lane phase a lot, but lane phase is the only part that actually takes any skill for enchanters. Otherwise, they're the most brain dead, stupid, dumb role in the game. If you can't tell, I hate
For sure.
enchanters. But
No, they're easy. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm exaggerating a little. There's some skill, but either way, a lot of people get scared of Caitlyn, but Caitlyn has really low AD. Like she just has high range.
Okay.
So if you can really easily get onto her, like Misfortune's gonna do way more damage if they're both auto attacking at the same amount of time. And obviously even
Yeah.
Lulu is gonna trade fine. And so instead of being so scared of her range, letting them get power, letting them push, like you guys could very easily be turning on her, getting a bunch of damage. But instead, yeah, you focused Malphite too much. You didn't space very well, and you didn't kind of create that triangle. Make sense?
Yeah. This is perfect because this is exactly what I meant. Like the early game didn't go fantastic. Like I had a good
Mhm.
game overall, but I felt like there's things I could have done better in the early game like that. So that's huge. So
Mhm.
cool.
We can start the replay now unless you have additional
Nope.
questions.
Actually, I do have one quick
Yeah.
one. Say if you like see like someone ward like in a certain spot and like you'd say just like the ward's not that like because sometimes I'll die over wards and it's really stupid and then I'm like actually I want to like clear that ward. Would you say like just leave them for the most part unless you have like a clear like window to like go and clear the ward pretty much?
Yeah,
I
I
know
mean,
that's probably a
it's
dumb
really
question.
it's not like a dumb question, no, but like yeah, it doesn't words don't matter that much early game. I mean, like
Okay.
there's only one purpose of a ward early game, and that's to find
It's
jungle.
the jungle.
Like that's
Yep.
the only thing that it's needed for. And so
Okay.
if they've already found the jungle because they get a ward and they can tell that this camp's killed, if they're actually good, they will already know
Then
and it won't matter.
they have the
If
information.
they're bad, like again, obviously, yeah, just basically push the wave before you clear the ward.
Okay.
And I mean, yeah, you're gonna be AFK under your turret for a while here now because you guys are low. So from this point,
Yep.
You just shielded yourself. So this is the thing too.
Yeah, I meant to shield Misfortune to walk
That
up,
was
but I
bad as
messed up.
well. So the point is, your shield timing needs to be based around last hitting, especially when you're
Okay.
like in general it needs to be based around last hitting. But like again, you shielded Misfortune, you were the one taking damage, and there's no last hit to be gotten.
Right.
Your point is to shield so your teammate can last hit, especially in a harder matchup. And you're gonna play a lot of harder matchups as like a Lulu or like a scaling enchanter. So
Yep.
basically, yeah, once your teammate has to walk up
Okay.
for last hit, that's when you shield them, not just whenever. And then that's also when you would walk up because you want to draw some pressure so your teammate doesn't take all the damage. So yeah, once you're on the back foot in the lane, you pretty much need to time your spells all with the purpose of last hitting. Like even that,
Last
you
hit.
W'd him. Why? It didn't do anything. His attack speed being a little more doesn't make him clear any faster, really. Like the point of your
Okay.
polymorph right now should either be to W him once he starts trading, obviously, or to polymorph the enemy when they try
Sure.
to punish a last hit because your teammate needs a last hit. Like, you need to be more intentional about your spell usage rather than
Okay.
kind of just using it because you're like, oh, I'm kind of scared I'm going to take damage. But actually be like, okay, this is the ability they're going to use on me. My teammate wants to walk up now, because your teammate doesn't need to walk up and do a full health minion when you guys are, getting fucked already in lane. He's going to walk up when the minion's 1 HP. So,
Yeah. So my idea, that last one, I was trying to like quickly have the wave push so we could recall. So that's why I did do the polymorph
okay,
there
but how
quick
much
to
how much
give her
attack
a sec.
speed increase does the polymorph do? Probably like 20 or 30%,
Not a
I'm
lot.
guessing.
Yeah, not
Like,
a ton.
okay, so if you have
Right.
20 or 30%, and he took like 3 autos. Like, I think he did like 2 autos in a queue. But like, just say he had to clear the minion fully, it would take 3, maybe
Right.
4 autos max. So an additional 20% attack speed is only going to give you from 4 autos to maybe 5 autos. And that's
Okay.
not in any way, shape, or form significant enough to value losing your mana when you were relatively low mana and wasting your ability. So when the enemy do aggress on you, because your teammate was completely fine, nobody was trying to punish him. It's just not
Right.
worth it, right? So,
Okay.
makes sense?
Okay. Yep.
And yeah, I mean, your teammate trolled this. Isn't really much you can do here.
Yeah.
Might end up working, I guess, because Annie game. So I don't know. Maybe he was trying to bait
That
for
would.
Annie. Who knows?
I don't think so, to be honest. I don't
Yeah, no,
even
I
think
don't
he
either.
noticed
But I
Annie.
mean, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So why not?
Yeah. So this is where I tell him he goes back. I tell him not to.
Yeah, probably just recalling is better, but it's not like a big deal because the enemy were backed off at that point. So, like, I mean, getting a couple minions isn't really the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, recalling is obviously safer there. And I mean, Rammus used ult, so it's not like you guys were in that much danger. Also, he has ghosts on Rammus. That's strange. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, lane phase is gonna be where you're gonna find a majority of the like difference between a good and a bad enchanter, and then past that, it's gonna be like, okay, I'm walking around shielding my teammates, and I need to make sure I time my veils
My stuff, right?
and whatever. Yeah, like, so, and that's all stuff you probably know, and ultimately it comes down to spell tracking and making sure you know who's dangerous, and also positioning safely yourself, because
Yeah.
the biggest thing for an enchanter is not dying, because like
Yep.
walking up and auto attacking someone once more or tanking a spell, like, that's not your job. Your job is to stay alive, because every spell rotation you get increases your value exponentially because you're getting all of your spells off again on someone. So that's really what matters in the later parts of the game. That's why it's usually not overly complicated. But yeah, the lane phase is, like, I would say playing enchanters in lane in a lot of ways takes more skill than playing a tank in lane. But then everything after that is the opposite. So these are the things you need to work on, is everything we kind of talked about there. I mean, I don't really mind you going over the wall like that, like, because pretty safe positioning. And again, like, that's what I mean. Like, you weren't really needed to sit there and auto attack a couple times. It makes way more sense for you to be in a position that's pretty safe, to just heal. In that case, maybe you could have just been over the wall anyway, but it's like, that's the type of thing that I'm pretty fine with. And your misfortune definitely does overstay very frequently.
Yep.
It is what it is, but
So he mains top lane too. So I'm like, you can't play ADC like top lane. So
yeah. Well, let's pause here though.
Yeah.
So we're going to find ourselves in a situation, whether we're solo queue, we'll find it a lot, or duo queue just with bad players, which will be the case for you because you're like Grandmaster or whatever. Peak, so you're not gonna duo with like Jackie. That'd be pretty cool if you did. But either way, the point is, a lot of times your teammates are gonna What's up?
I was gonna say I did go against Corrupt in Valhalla the other day though, so that was good.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I love watching them go 80-0 against my teammates. It's super fun.
We actually won against Valhalla, but we got wrecked against Corrupt.
Oh, that's good.
So
yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah.
1-1 against those guys is quite good. Either way, so your teammate's gonna int a lot. It's just gonna happen. They're gonna overextend. They're gonna die. Whatever. And as a support, there's no reason for you to be here. The point is, you should be recalling immediately, getting your health and mana, and then going through mid, and then you come back to lane once your teammate's actually getting back there. Like, basically, the only time that you would stay in lane after your teammate dies is if you want to freeze the wave, so that, like, you're safe to freeze the wave and you can just keep it there so he can get it, or you want to stop enemy recalls. So, like, another thing is, like, say the enemy do all in you, they kill your teammate, but they're both like 30% HP and you were relatively healthy because your teammate just inted and got caught. You can just start messing with the enemy, trying to let them not recall, so that your teammate gets back on the lane and then by the time the enemy, recall, your teammates respawn, he gets back to lane first, for example.
That makes
Like
sense.
these
Yep.
types of things are what you want to be doing when your teammate makes a mistake. So you either want to stop their recalls, but in this case, obviously you couldn't stop any recall. There was no recall to stop. And so you take a reset, and then you find an angle to go into
And they
mid
go
lane.
mid.
Then what you can do,
Okay.
you help your teammate push mid. Yes, every once in a while they'll get mad at you. It is what it is. They don't understand the game. But most of the time, you help them push mid. The fact that you help them push mid means they then get the first rotation. So now like your Annie would be able to rotate in the
Okay.
top side or bot, depending on what looks better, as your
Yep.
teammates are respawning. Rather than you sitting
That makes
here, you're
sense.
kind of doing nothing. You cleared a ward, great. It
Wasting
doesn't do
time.
anything. Yeah, we waste our time. So, make sense?
Okay. Yep. 100%.
And even here, I would like, maybe the wave is pushing, so maybe I'll go through top side. Say that the wave was like more under the enemy tower, they were freezing, oftentimes I'd go through mid. But here it's fine to go through top side because they're pressuring your turret right away.
Okay, so you'd say typically, like, if they're not, say the wave's at the mid state there, you'd
Yeah.
go up mid, like you go
No,
mid and then you
if
go
the
top.
wave is, if your teammate's gonna get on the wave right away and there's gonna be stuff happening on the wave, you will want to go to the wave with your teammate. But the time
Okay.
that you don't want to is when either your teammate's gonna be able to clear it for free. So say the enemy, say they just pushed that wave and then they started recalling instead of taking the turret. Then you
Yep.
don't need to go there. Your teammate's gonna get the wave. Like the enemy are recalling, and nothing's gonna happen for the next 20 seconds in the lane. Go somewhere else. But
Right.
in this
A waste of
situation,
time,
obviously
yeah.
they were pressuring your turret. That was an insane Malphite ult. But they were pressuring the turret, obviously, and there was a wave, so you should go. I just want to make sure you're aware of the fact that oftentimes you want to be going through mid after something like that.
Yep. No, that makes sense.
And then yeah, you
I
should.
probably don't do that as much as I should. I do it occasionally, but I definitely need to do that more.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead,
it's a good
Bogey.
thing to be aware of. Yeah, but I just wanted to say at this point, and click the scoreboard. But I'm pretty sure your Master Yi is the Fed one, and you're a Lulu. You know how to click the scoreboard? Just see the. No.
I don't when I'm in.
The down arrow in the middle
Oh,
bottom
this
area,
one.
yeah, like, and then click one
Here
more
you go.
time. So, okay, so everyone is kind of shit, but following a
Yeah.
misfortune doesn't really make any sense, especially when you lost your turret. So the point is, you should pretty much be following Master Yi, because like Lulu's already really good with Master Yi.
Yep.
He gets
Because
a
of his
reset, you
attack
can
speed,
win.
yeah.
He has 3 kills, even though he has died 3 times. But yeah, you can start the replay. I just wanted to point out that you've lost your turret. You really shouldn't be following your misfortune for kind of the rest of the game, unless she
Okay.
weirdly got fed at some point. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mainly followed him just because he is my friend. I know he's decent.
yeah.
Not
No, he's
great.
not. But yeah,
Decent.
I'm glad that you think that.
No, no,
I'm just being a dickhead. Don't worry. But yeah.
no. I know what you mean. Because
But you
like
can rely
compared to
on
like
him.
Sovereign.
I do get it. I mean, you're playing in this elo, so like you will be able to rely on him more than a random. He's not going to
Yep.
randomly int you. He will do basic things. It's not like he's inting the game. He's just a bit greedy and like overstays a lot. But it's not like he's like running it down or something. So I get what you mean.
Yeah, and that's because he's a top main, and like he's used to like I can go to whatever lane I want, and I'm like you can't do that as ADC. So
Yeah. No, but either way,
like
like
there.
again, and see, this is like a thing too. Like I do it with this, like this is like 3 seasons ago. I do it with this Sovereign player who's quite good. Like I was support, he was ADC, and there was like we were stomping lane every game. But one game he inted lane, and I started following our jungle. He got really mad at me because he was like, "What? You're in my duo. Why aren't you following me?" But then we won the game because our jungler was fed and I played around him. And like, not every game, even if your teammate is fucking Faker, like sometimes Faker will randomly get solo killed in lane and be down 3k gold. And a good player will know how to play from behind anyway. And so like when we do have a win condition somewhere else, we do want to play around that insert. And this is one of the situations where the realistic way you win is following Master Yi getting resets, and your champ also sucks with misfortune, which again you said is just like unfortunate. So
yeah, and I agree with that too, because like they should be able to go farm on their own to get enough gold for where I can support them after that.
Yeah, exactly. Like if your teammate knows what he's doing and he's playing scaling champ, I mean misfortune's not really a scaling, but like most champs, like he's gonna get gold and eventually he'll be useful. Or in the case of misfortune, I mean all misfortune's gonna do in this game is just ult on an Annie ult. There's not really any. The misfortune is such a bad pick here because there's like no setup for misfortune. She's just a shit champion in the game, and the enemy are super tanky. 2 mega armor stackers. She sucks in armor stackers because she builds a bunch of pen. So and weirdly, yes, armor stackers are like pens bad into armor stackers because most of the pen is flat pen, not percent pen. You can only get 1% pen item, and she just doesn't have the DPS to kill them. So So yeah, like we have
Right.
to understand that. I mean, obviously, all of your AD champions aren't the best in this game because they have Rammus and Malphite, but Master Yi is going to be more consistent DPS, and I think you get what I mean. So.
Yep.
And like even here, I want you to be, for example, ready to go with your Master Yi up there. Like you're not gonna die here, but
Yeah.
instead you're like ulting your Darius, and like I mean that ult didn't do anything, right? But if we're going and we're following our teammate who's diving in the back lane, like you could have just straight up walked through that. It was a Malphite or a Rammus, whoever it was in front of you. Like they're not gonna one shot
Because
you.
they're tank.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
tank. You can just walk through them. Like we need to understand that. Like it matters more to get my buff onto my carry who actually can do something rather than again. And then you just ulted at the end of the fight for fun and. Doesn't really matter. You probably weren't going to use your ult like after, but you had no actual reason to use it. So
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, actually, your ult could have possibly saved his life there, you know, in hindsight as well. So at least you saved his life, though. That's nice of you.
Yeah, I think the ult was the idea of like not letting him escape, but he probably wasn't going to escape anyways.
Well, I think it was
So
a
I know.
Malphite, and he'd already ulted in,
Yeah.
so we'd know like the only thing he could do is flash, and our Master Yi was like close enough that if he flashed, he would die.
That's true.
So it's a spell
Yeah.
tracking thing, but yeah, I understand like the reasoning, like that's the thought. Yeah, I hear. I mean, flash ulting. I don't know. I don't think your teammate was gonna die, but I don't mind if you thought maybe he will. And then here, this is like don't sit by yourself. You know, go follow your team in mid. Doesn't really do anything to sit top side. But yeah, you eventually do. And yeah, at this point, it is just gonna be following our team, and basically, your main issue when you're following your team. Like where you are on the map, you're 95% of the time where you should be in terms of who you're following. Your main problem is the actual spell tracking of like, oh, this spell is going to be used, so I don't need ult, for example, or yeah, protecting your teammate. Or like in this case, I mean, Master Yi goes in, we might like want to ult for knockup, for example. Like after he goes in, that's probably going to be the biggest value for you because I can't think of a lot of things in this game that you ult and then like it matters. Like if Rammus ults in, you ulting is going to knock him up for half a second and then he'll do the same things he would do. I mean, maybe you stop. I don't actually know if you ult someone, they get knocked up, if it stops Yasuo's ult. I don't know how that works, but if it does that, then maybe you can ult someone who's Yasuo ulted. I don't know if that's a thing or not.
I don't know if I think he might be, what's it called?
Unstoppable?
Untargetable. Yeah.
He might be. I don't think so. No, he's definitely not unstoppable. You can definitely stop it.
Okay.
Or maybe it's if you knock the other person up. Like I don't know. It's a thing to test. These are random interactions, but
when you play Syndra, does it knock him back if he ults?
Yeah. So it should.
Okay, then yeah, I'm sure with Lulu you can then.
Yeah, probably. But again, the point is like it's not even because again I don't play Lulu. You know, I have more respect for myself, and so
I know.
Yeah, but the point is like these random interactions. It's not that like I don't know every random interaction. I don't know every random spell. I don't know I know every spell basically. I don't know every random like passive exactly how it works. But the point is you're playing a champion a lot. You just test that. Like you need to be asking yourself which things can I use my ult for, and then you'll have that random question. Can I,
and then try it,
ulting, and then you try it. Like that's how you go about improving. It's not just like because even if I tell you how this one interaction works, I can't explain to you every interaction in the game. So the only real way you learn it is testing. So that's kind of the point. It's like we ask ourselves more of these types of questions, and eventually we just continue to grow our knowledge. It's not about like instantly, learning all of it because you watch one YouTube video or something. It takes a lot of time.
Right.
But yeah, that aside is just like most of these champions, if they get on top of your teammate, you can ult them, but most of the time it's going to make more sense to ult our carry, which is Master Yi in this case. And so even here, like your positioning is super safe, but you need to be up with that Master Yi because he's the one who's doing everything here. And then he dies, and he probably would have died anyways, but there's no real reason for you to not have walked up there because he's going to be taking all the damage. It's not like someone's going to go on you. Plus you have flash. So like, you have ways to escape. You're not really in any danger, and your carry, he was in there for like 5 seconds. So
yeah, I play overly safe sometimes, which I need to not maybe.
And it's not bad for enchanters. Like you want to be more on the safe side compared to not, because you're going to throw a lot more games by not being safe. Because ultimately, surviving is the most important thing. But we need to understand when we have a specific win condition how we can make it easier. And also, you were never in danger. So the problem is not I'm too safe or I'm too passive. The problem is when you're doing the same thing always. You're always positioning safely. It's about having like a specific thing in mind, like, oh, this game I need to play more aggressive because my
Yep.
carries are the ones that are diving in. Miss Fortune is not really going to be, she's pretty useless still. She's level 11 and she's
Yep.
not very much gold. Like, there's no reason to be following her. Plus, Miss Fortune is going to do Miss Fortune all like that. She ulted, now she doesn't have that much, value. And again,
Yeah,
you're
she's
positioning
kinda
in your fight
useless,
pretty
yeah.
far away from Master Yi. I think you did get an ult in the Master Yi, so you're kind of in a way. But over the wall was maybe a bit weird, but either way, you were at least able to get stuff on
Yep.
him. And even like flashing here to make sure he doesn't die, like that's what we want. I want you doing these types of things, even if you look at it, maybe the flash wasn't
Right.
necessary. I don't care. He was 30% HP, making sure he doesn't die. Guarantees you get a Baron. That's what we want happening more often. Like we can see when we play the fight
And
with
this
him.
this is where we start winning now,
Yeah.
is after that. So,
Yeah, and
but
from here it's
before,
gonna be
again,
pretty
like the whole
straightforward.
game, we were kind of losing, and it was close. So,
Yeah. No, and again, your biggest issues are the lane phase. Did you
Yep.
just ult your teammate? That was strange. But okay. Either
so
way.
they were coming up soon.
Yeah.
Like Rammus, I knew he was quick, so I just wanted to like hurry up and have her get the most amount of like damage and stuff. And I know ult gives her a little attack speed and buffs.
Well, again, like
And
it's
I
the
knew
whole
by the
thing of like
time,
what it's gonna do one more auto attack probably. Like it's gonna be a single auto attack less. That's not gonna
right?
realistically be the difference, and then you could just ult if someone actually went on him and knocked them up like you're. So it's again just
Okay.
like that's probably not gonna really do much, almost ever.
Yeah.
Your ult cooldown's
Okay.
gonna be pretty low at this point. It's not like a huge thing, but
That's why I also did it because I'm like, we're gonna recall anyways. By the time I get back to lane and everything, it's gonna be up again. So,
yeah. No, I mean it's not like the. I don't think
oh
you
yeah,
should do
no,
it, but it's not like a big deal.
right.
Because if you do come back, for example, through mid, I mean, you might not have ult when you could save someone's life. I think he'll die before that, but like, this is something
Yeah.
that could
Yep.
happen.
But I
But
could
yeah,
have
it
maybe.
doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. It's a smaller thing. I forgot what I was saying, but I don't think it was that important. But yeah, I mean, you get the point. Yeah, basically, that your biggest problem is the lane phase. We worked
Yep.
on that. That's kind of a big thing with Enchanter. And then yeah, understanding like who to actually follow and who your win conditions are in the fights later on. And then the specific spell
Yep.
tracking rather than like ulting someone who like even this guy didn't need to be ulted at all.
That
You
was
had three,
yeah.
it was
That
3 to
was
1.
dumb.
Nobody's gonna do anything to him. He's 30% HP, your teammates are all full HP. So just like simple things like that. Like again, you're using it because you're just like, oh, I'm gonna get it back soon, and that's reasonable. And it's not like a super bad
But
thing.
still,
And I would
yeah.
rather have you be on the side of make like overly safe than overly, risky with your stuff. So it's not like the worst. It just could be optimized, basically.
Right. Right. Okay. No, that makes sense.
And yeah, I mean, don't see too much else that we'll be able to learn. We'll see though. There might be a few small things, but it'll probably be mostly confirming the same things.
No, I think
or
that
just,
was again like this is where we start winning, but like you kind of said, I think my main problems were that laning phase and stuff, and that's where I wanted to learn anyways. So
And yeah, even here, like probably could have reset 5 seconds before because now we're kind of up on, with half HP. But we are Lulu. We're probably going to be safe enough anyway. Again, you ulted your teammate for no reason though.
yeah, I know.
Like, it
I
was
need to
just one
stop doing
person.
that.
Yeah. Because again, it doesn't actually give them like what it gives them attack speed, and does it? I don't think it gives them. Does it give them damage or something? I don't. I think it's just
I
attack
don't
speed
know.
and health.
I know it's definitely attack speed and health.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it might be
knocks them
something
up.
else. But the point is like, it's not really
Not
making
needed.
their damage that much more, especially in Annie. I mean, she's not an auto attacker, so like she doesn't take advantage of the
Right.
attack speed. And you did it by the time he was already like 1 HP, so he's not gonna like take
Get away.
yeah. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind. And then yeah, I mean here I would want to follow Master Yi again. Like your Lulu or your Misfortune still is not very useful, and going up on this side lane is just overly risky. Like there's no real reason to do that.
Yeah, that's why I hit the retreat.
Yeah, and I mean if you want to follow him to make sure he doesn't die on side lane, and then you want to go right after, I don't really mind. Like that's not bad to me because you don't have that much to do with the Master Yi right now. So if you want to like follow your teammate to make sure he doesn't get caught inside, that's fine. As long as we make sure we're getting back to mid now, so you are. So like I'm mostly fine with this sequence, but
yeah, I always try to play around Baron, top and mid after.
Yeah.
After first Baron especially. Sometimes I don't think first Baron is that important.
it's more
but
important than
definitely after
Dragon,
the
but it's not like gonna lose you
yeah,
most games. But yes, like it's still you still prefer to be around it just because it's more important than Dragon. Is your
yep.
Master Yi in there? I can't even see.
No,
No,
he's
Master Yi's
top
bot.
bot.
Yeah, okay. I
Oh.
couldn't even see because there's like a mess there, but yeah. I mean, again, you're just trying to save your teammates who are kind of, inting. I don't really mind, but
Yeah, they definitely entered there.
yeah, it is what it is. I mean, the enemy only have like mega tanky champions basically. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, like here, like why?
So
Like
here,
I don't want you clearing the wave. I want you on bot with your Master Yi. Like you're not
okay,
gonna lose the game if you
yeah,
lost that turret, but you could lose the game if your Master Yi dies here. Like this is a way you
and
would
he
lose the
does.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he probably would have died with you, but there's obviously less of a chance of him dying with you. And just being aware of
yeah,
that like is important. And yeah, I mean you're obviously you still win the game in the end, but you just don't have enough awareness of again what actually wins me the game, what loses me the game. Like that mid lane turret dying will basically never
I mean
be the
nothing.
reason
Yeah,
you lose, but your teammate dying would be. So kind of want to be aware of that. You did do a good job
yeah,
again covering the top side when your misfortune was too far up and helping mid so that they hopefully don't get caught. Like that was fine, and you were aware of like who could be caught, and that was good. Um,
yeah. But after that,
but
yeah,
yeah, we just need to be more aware again of our
I
Master
think I
Yi.
need to like even when I'm playing with friends because I do that pretty often. Like just not care as much of being around them and like
Yeah,
really identifying that win condition, right?
yeah,
And then playing around that the whole game.
yeah. I mean, past 6 minutes especially, and if you're laning well and your teammate knows what he's doing, then
It's different.
he's gonna
Yeah,
be the win condition most games. So that's like the thing. Like the reason you'll
right.
watch like Jackie's do it like Wanga is the person he does with a lot. The reason you'll watch her follow him all the time is not because he's Jackie, it's because he's winning every lane, they're winning every lane, so of course he's the win
Yeah.
condition. Like that's why
Yep.
she's gonna follow, every once in a blue moon maybe Corrupt will be their jungler and they lose lane and then she'll follow Corrupt a little more, but it's just gonna be a rare thing because usually
Yeah.
since they're so much better at laning, they're gonna be stronger. So you improve the lane phase, and if you're playing with like, a duo a lot, then showing them like these types of videos or just explaining the basic concepts to them are important. And then here, I mean, you're on the
Yeah.
wrong side of the map as Elder spawning. That's like very gross, right? Like obviously you need
Yeah.
to
No, no,
be,
that was bad.
yeah.
Nope. I know.
And there's a lot of this where you're just a bit late, and yeah, Master Yi again gets caught, and I think he would have died again anyway because he's kind of just inting. But either way,
Yeah.
we need to be around these types
I
of
need to be
things,
there. Yeah.
stopping that, yeah. And you should be
Yeah.
there
So
like 30 seconds before it's starting. Like you should be preparing for it the same way you prepare for a
yeah.
Baron. So yeah,
No, that I even realized that
yeah.
because that's why like I like rushed up. I'm like shit. Like I knew better, but yet
Yeah, no, I mean it happens. We all lose awareness sometimes. I mean, I've been playing like shit for the last like 4 days. I've been so tilted. I've done so many dumb things. So, like I understand doing things that are wrong. Don't get me wrong.
yep.
But yeah, it looks like your teammate just backdoors. I don't know if he actually ends there. Yeah, he
He
does. Okay.
does.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you only won that game because your Annie randomly stole Baron that made no sense, and all these
Yep.
random things happened. So no, yeah, you're right. It was a good game. I was like thinking like you're 2-0-21. It's probably like not the best game, but there's a lot to learn from it. So
There was again like it was a close game the whole game, and I'm
yeah.
like I know I did some things wrong that I could have done better, and I felt like that was a good one to watch even though we
Dude,
won.
what the fuck? Your teammate went Hallbreaker. Okay, you're trying to tell me your duo doesn't suck. He went Hallbreaker. He's what the fuck?
He does suck. I didn't
That
even
build
catch
is
that.
that build is gross. Also, Cleaver is also kind of gross. Jesus Christ.
He plays top normally.
Yeah.
So when we duo, he normally plays Baron lane, but he's like, I'm gonna ADC today. So
And he went
but,
Cyrilda's first, which is a percent pen item, which obviously does more later on in the game. I guess you could somewhat justify it because there's Malphite and Rammus, but even then, the build
yeah,
path early is
he
so
should have
bad
went.
for lane.
He definitely probably should have went like collector or
You'd either go Collector or
Dust
Bloodthirster.
first
Like, you can do Collector for pure
or Bloodthirster.
damage, or you can do Bloodthirster. It kind of depends how you want to play it, but yeah, Collector would be... either way, it
Just
doesn't matter. We're not
yeah,
even talking about his build. It's just, that's hilariously bad. He got MVP, though,
yeah.
so, I mean, like, we'll take it. So
I
you wanted to do
don't
mid
know,
next,
man.
or...?
Yeah, if you're cool with that, because
Of course,
I
I don't...
used to, you know, like you said, enchanters are simple. So if I can just learn a little bit, about getting better at enchanters, that'd be great.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't look at my disgusting match history
I've
because I've been trying
I've
to
been
go
on a
tough.
lost streak for like 4 days. Like I said, it happens.
So yeah, I've been playing legendary ranked, and like I feel like all the sovereigns are just starting out legendary ranked, and I've been playing against a lot of them. and they've just been
That's a good thing to learn
wrecking
from.
me.
So, is your game not in the match history, or did you just not?
I don't know. It must not be. Let's see.
Unless you want ARAM coaching on Heimerdinger, I guess.
No. Oh, it's
Oh, that's
this
a
one.
legendary rank game now.
So yeah, I play against this Yasuo who just one taps my turrets pretty much. So I wanted to see like he might be a permaban when I play Heimerdinger, but this
Well,
Yasuo was like
don't go or TP, by the way. Go ignite.
okay.
TP doesn't really do that much for mid lane. You get back the lane pretty fast. You're always in the position to be where
My
you want to be
idea
on the.
was with
Yeah.
Heimer, I would split push and like push turrets really quick.
No, that's not really. Like
Okay,
Heimer
not a good
is
idea.
very very lane dominant. He's very good at controlling mid. Like follow your champion, but
Cool.
yeah, follow your champion. There you go. But he's very very good at like controlling the lane. Like Yasuo, you know, again I don't play Heimer. I don't know like all the specific matchups, and I could see Yasuo being kind of difficult because he can sort of. Well, he E's and he has to auto it as well. So no, he can't E through your turret. If he can't E through your turret, then you should be fine in this matchup. Yeah, your goal is basically constant control of the lane. I guess, yeah, this isn't like the absolute easiest
This
matchup
is
ever,
hard.
but it doesn't seem
Yeah,
anything crazy. But yeah,
it's all
generally
hard,
speaking, the
but
point is the goal is to mega control lane, basically not let anyone leave lane, and you don't want to leave lane. Like, you're not a roaming champ. Now, maybe if
no.
the enemy are
Yeah.
really, really far under their turret, and you've already pushed them a bunch, you can roam every once in a while, but it's not your main goal. Your main goal, yeah, is to just get poke in lane. Don't use your abilities ever on the wave. Use your abilities to
Okay.
poke the enemy. Your turrets are going to push the wave
Okay.
plenty fast anyway. But pretty much the goal is, yeah, pause by the way, I just want to explain a few things, because
Yeah.
first thing is, do you know what Yasuo passive is?
Yeah, he has a shield
The
too.
shield. Do you know how like the
Yeah.
shield actually works?
I don't. I just know he has a shield when he's not. It's like Malphite kind of, where it's when he's not in combat, it comes back up.
Get him on your
But
screen so like you can see his mana bar, and then I'll explain it. Yeah. So you see how his mana bar is white, right? That
Mhm.
means next time he takes damage, the shield's gonna pop, and then his
Okay.
mana bar slowly goes up. And once
After
it
that,
fills up, then that's when
he has a shield again.
he has the shield again. So you use that as the indicator. The point is,
Okay.
when you're in these types of lanes against Yasuo, when you can sneak a random auto attack on him, it's super valuable because it pops the shield, and then you don't
Okay.
damage him until the shield's gone. But you had multiple
Okay.
times where you could have autoed him, you didn't auto him. So we want to be aware of that just to get a little additional poke on him. And then yeah, again, like I said, your goal is just dominate lane. So you use your turrets to keep the enemy in lane. You take your first recall on mana boots, you get back to lane, you continue to dominate lane. It's a very similar strategy to how I play Syndra or Orianna, except Heimerdinger is way better at lane. But like he'll do the same
Okay.
thing because he's really good at scaling, he's really good with a lot of gold. So you want to follow like if you I would say go and watch some of my mage videos. Like I have the mage laning video is not it'd be a decent video, but Heimer is a little different in lane because he's so much better in lane. But it's similar. And then the mage, like how I always have the most gold on a mage, I think is what it's called.
Yep.
And then also my recent video, like mid lane GPM video. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
about like the Google Doc I have, but
I was watching you where you like you pretty much rotate from wave to wave
yeah,
for
and
the till you
that's
get like
like
death cap.
that's what you're gonna want to be doing. You're the same spike of like the death cap. The only difference, like I said, is you're more often gonna actually get kills in lane because your champ is better in lane. But other than that, you're pretty much doing the same cycle until the Baron comes. Your goal is just get as much gold as possible in this champion. So make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Okay. And then yeah, so you follow
Pretty
your
much
champ,
all
click the thing
AP.
again. But what was up?
Pretty much all AP champs like scaling mate like Syndra and even I feel like even Echo is kind of that way for the
Echo
gold,
is
but
not. No, Echo is much more roam focused because he has insane wave clear. So he can
Okay.
use that to constantly actually find the ability to move. But a lot of AP champ, like Kassadin is like an assassin who's more like that. And then yeah, again, you keep using your abilities too much to
On the wave.
yeah,
Yeah.
on the wave, and the wave is ending up getting pushed. So you need to understand that your goal here is to, and I like the pause is good because I do need to explain. Basically, your goal here is when you have a wave like this and do an assassin, and also you're going to hit mana boots, right? Like you're aware, like you're about to get 1400 gold.
Yep.
Your goal is to get the wave all the way under the turret so you can recall. You can't recall when it's frozen like this. It's going to be kind of bad unless you're like really low health, but you're full health. And so you could use your abilities on the wave once you're getting to this point, but the problem is you used a Q on, or whatever, I don't know actually what ability is, I don't play this champ, but the bomb thing you threw, you
Yep.
didn't throw it on the back minions, where you could have hit multiple
Okay.
minions. When instead you threw it
Okay.
on the one melee minion that was already kind of low HP and taking damage. So it's way
Yep.
slower to push, and you also just like spam your turrets pretty hard when you could kind of wait to have your turrets up until you're trying to clear the wave fully as well. I mean, because you were just kind of losing a lot of mana. But basically the problem is you didn't have enough mana to push
So
this wave.
yeah, and I didn't have turrets up because Yasuo killed. I wish it showed my cooldowns actually for you to
Yeah,
see. For
I mean,
the
that'd be
future, is
nice.
there a way to do that
I have no
or
idea.
no?
There probably
Okay.
is, but like I don't know how.
Okay. Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, so I was out of turrets there too. So
Hmm.
I was just trying to, because you're right. I was trying to get a recall for mana boots here,
Yeah,
and I knew like
and you
I had
should
to push
probably
it.
still be able to. Um, yeah, I mean you can
Yeah.
start the replay unless you, but you should still. And even here, if he ends up pushing like this, like he starts pushing it, just take the recall now. Like you don't need to stay here. You
Okay.
have 1400 gold right now. Just take the recall, let the wave push. Like look at the wave right now. Like that's going to push into you because it's pushed further
Yeah.
up. But now what you did, you just hit it, so now it's continuing to freeze, and you lost the
Yeah.
cannon because of it.
No.
So
Yep.
when they're very often going to start pushing that, and Yasuo kind of has to push because he has to E through the minions. And so when they do that, don't keep, like, again, you used an ability, but you didn't last it. So now he can
Yeah.
walk up and freeze on you. Like, it is a very common thing. We're all laying against a player who does something like you as an
Yep.
assassin or as someone who's decent in lane. And then they'll do an ability on the minion. The minion doesn't die. I walk up now. They don't have an ability to damage me. They don't have an ability to clear the wave. And they lose the entire
Yeah.
minion. Like, you lost a cannon here earlier, for example. So when the
Yep.
enemy make
Yep.
it so that the wave is frozen like that, but then they start like pushing it back into you, let them and just take the recall if they don't have enough time to crash it. Like if he's going to crash it really quickly, you can also fake your recall, pressure him to crash it, and then if he does start pushing
And
it,
then
you just
like,
stay. And if he doesn't push it, then you
yeah.
leave and then you'll come back.
Okay. Yeah, I will say when I think the biggest problems I have when I play Baron lane and mid lane are definitely wave management.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something I need to work on there.
And even here you got scared when like he had to walk way
I did.
further. Like there's no
Yeah.
reason to, but this is what I mean by the recall though. It's like you could walk back, you would only lose like a little bit. I mean, obviously you have TP, so it's even less punishing, but again, you shouldn't have TP. Like you could just walk back at this point and you'd be fine anyway.
Okay.
But yeah. And then
And
I
I
mean
missed
missing
that
last
game.
hits happens, but
Yeah.
and then so again, like your goal here when they recall late is to hard push and then leave. Like lane's not going
Okay.
especially good. Here, I think he hasn't recalled yet. So actually now you play to win lane.
Yeah.
So since he hasn't recalled,
Okay.
now you're playing to keep him here. So like your goal changes. But yeah, like if he had recalled, then you would push the lane quick and then like leave, because the lane's not going that well for you. Even though, like I said, Heimer is usually going to be lane dominant, but if your lane's not going well for whatever reason, this does seem like it'd probably be one of the harder matchups anyway. Then you can start doing the thing of yeah, like we get back to lane. Anytime the enemy take a late recall, we push and then we find the ability to leave.
Yeah, I was gonna say I usually win lane with Heimer, but
Yeah.
like Yasuo, where he just like one, sword poke and then autos
Yeah.
my turret and it's dead. It was really hard lane.
No, I can
Plus,
see
I know
that
he
being
can
hard.
kill
Yeah.
me. I know he
Yeah.
can kill me super easy too. Like if he hits a tornado, like a knockup, I'm like,
What do you ban by the way in mid lane?
I gotta remember what I banned in
Are
this
you a
one.
Heimer main in mid lane or do you play it like more?
So I am. I don't. Again, I'm getting back to like playing other roles other
Yeah.
than support. So Heimer's been the one I have been playing the
Okay.
most.
Yeah, no, I
So
was just saying
it's
Yasuo could
usually,
be a ban potentially. But
yeah. After I played this match where I like realized how like
yeah.
hard of a lane it was, I would ban him if I was playing Heimer.
It's not really the end of the world though. Like I mean you can see it's pretty hard for him to kill you and you're not down that much gold and that's with all these mistakes. Like you're probably down like 400 or like maybe even less.
Yep.
Um
And I know he can't roam really either. So which
yeah,
is
like you can push really hard if he roams. Like you get turrets very fast. So it's really not even like the end of the world even though it's very annoying. Like this is how like I ban Heimer funnily enough, but I used to ban
yeah.
Yasuo when I would play like Syndra, for example, and basically it just goes like this. He'll have pressure in lane, but you're eventually going to outscale. You're not going to go down that much gold, and if you play properly, he's not going to solo kill you. Your biggest problem is just in these types of harder matchups, and this is a good thing to understand even in, you know, regardless of what champ you're playing. You're always, and it's kind of the same for your Lulu thing, is you're not aware of the last hits. You're kind of just like, you kind of just hit the minion wave whenever you have the ability to hit it, rather than...
I do.
Yeah, rather than like you wait till it's last hittable, then you use an ability on it. And instead of this, you should not be matching half health, half mana. You don't match a roam. You push the mid wave.
Right.
And then you just make it so that he loses a bunch of shit. And like, look how long it took for anything to happen here. And all you did was sit here and then throw some abilities into a Yasuo win wall. And he obviously is the one who gets the kill. You get basically nothing. So yeah, I mean, like, your champion is lane dominant. Again, that's what we need to understand. It's like the Syndra.
I should have just stayed in lane,
you push. And then you can roam after you push, or you can recall after you push. You can do something after you push. But you sat here for 10 seconds anyway. That's enough time to push the wave and then come late if you wanted to. Or your Heimer, you should have just pushed, obviously, after, because you do a bunch of damage to turrets. But yeah. And so then you're losing out on more gold, where in these hard lanes, instead of... And basically, the general rule you want to follow for, like, everything in the game, not just mid lane, is if someone is stronger, go somewhere else. Like, if the enemy 3v3 is stronger than us, then we don't want a 3v3. We want them to 2v3, and then we go create a 3v2 somewhere else. Or we create a 1v0 on a turret, and they have a 3v2, and then there's, you know, whatever. Like, you get the point. Numbers need to be different. Like, we don't want even numbers when we're behind or when the enemy are stronger. We only want even numbers when we're ahead. Otherwise, again, we keep going to fights like this. This is what's going to happen. Yasuo is going to outvalue you. And now, instead of Yasuo just getting like a 300 or 400 gold lead on you in lane, which is going to happen regardless, you know, every once in a while you're going to lose some lanes. You could be, you know, he's probably up over 1,000 at this point.
Right. Probably can check,
instead you could be topside following. You can check. Yeah, he's up 1,000. That was pretty good. I was like right on.
You're good.
On the money there. But
good math.
But you could go topside, for example, like, and just follow your Rengar and just have a 2v1 against the Aurelia or whoever. I think it's an Aurelia. Yeah. I don't think Aurelia can one-shot your turrets, so it'd be fine. That'd be pretty absurd if she could. That'd be like the hardest part in the game.
I really ended up going to that Dragonflight too, so
you get a free turret.
Actually, 4v5 or 4v5 there.
And yeah, it'd be a gold bounty on a turret. Obviously, like, that's a lot more valuable. And then even here, like, go topside, for example. You know, where there's like nobody. Instead, you're going mid with your team, where other people are here, they're taking the gold, and then now you walk topside. Now you're gonna lose this gold to your Lucian as well. If he follows, or you're sharing XP mid, like, it's just inefficient. No reason to be going mid first. We could go through top first. Basically just want to be aware of that.
Yeah, I was going top right after that, but I saw there's, you know, some minions I could get gold from, and I knew if I
like they're already there.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's not really a point, unless you had nowhere else to be, right? Like, if you have nowhere else to be, you can share gold, but there's no reason to share gold when there's somewhere else you can be, which in this case was topside.
Yep.
And you can't really fight Aurelia. She's way stronger than you. So it is a little unfortunate. I mean, it's a lot of the earlier mistakes that really lead us to being stuck here. But basically, the biggest things are, like, in lane, in, you know, more difficult matchups, you don't want to over push the wave when the enemy are pushing it into you. Let them, rather than, like, continuing to use an ability for a last hit.
Yeah, she just wrecked me.
Or using this isn't really much to talk about, but yeah, like, instead of using an ability for a minion that's not last hittable, you know, we only want to be using it when it's last hittable, which partially is just going to be because you haven't played this champion as much, probably because you're not playing a lot of mid, so you don't know exactly the thresholds to actually kill minions. And then don't match the roams when you're losing lane. Don't try to play on even numbers. Play opposite side of the enemy. Push the turret when they roam. Do those types of things, and then you'll create the potential for a comeback. Like, even my stream yesterday, I was jungle, but the same concepts. I had 2 games where I was down like 8k plus gold as a team. Both of these games I applied these concepts. Both of them we unfortunately did lose, but at some point we did come back to the point that we had a gold lead, and then we lost after, which was very tragic, made me sad. But the point again is that it's very common that you can get these gold leads to come completely back if you're following these concepts, because if you kill that top turret, for example, you're going to get like 1,000 plus gold for your team overall because it has the gold bounty on it, and then the enemy get caught once and you get a shutdown, and you use that shutdown to get a different shutdown. Like, these are very common things. I mean, I'm sure you've had the opposite side where your team throws these games and The enemy are just as
Yep.
likely to do these things, but they're not ever going to throw those games into you if you're just constantly giving them even numbered fights, because that's exactly like obviously what they want. If they just go and spam an ARAM and you match them, they're gonna win because they have a godlike Aurelia and whatnot. So
Right.
like what you're doing now is better.
Yeah.
But you should go up bot farther. Like don't go through mid, just keep going bot. I don't care if you die, right? Like what does it matter if you die? The game is already fucked. But if you get that bot turret, at least there's something you can get out of it. Instead you go and sit mid and you're just gonna get a couple of minions and nothing basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you end up going here and again you
worth
get ulted.
wa-
It
waste
just
of time.
doesn't do anything. And you can kind of see.
Sure.
I don't know why you TP'd there.
Well, I was gonna try to get this bot turret quick, and then I saw Maokai come.
Well, the dragon is spawning in 15 seconds, so the enemy are obviously going to go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
there. Yeah.
so if you were going to TP somewhere, you would go top, but you would just recall and TP top anyway.
Yeah.
But again, this is the thing. You don't need TP because if you're thinking properly, you would have already been bot and you would have already recalled and gone top, right? Like TP is only useful for very, very poor macro in mid. In top lane, every once in a while, it can be useful for different reasons, but in mid lane, it's only going to be useful if you have. So like, pause right here.
Yep.
So the concept I'm trying to explain to you right now, right, is play opposite side of the enemy, get gold where you can get gold bounties, avoid the enemy. So based on that logic, what do you want to do right now?
Be top with Rengar getting that turret.
It makes sense, and that's why I understood it was sort of a trick question in a way, but that's wrong. Are you able to figure out why you shouldn't do that?
Because my whole team's there pretty much.
Where are the enemy right now? Besides
doing Dragon.
Yeah, they're doing Dragon. What are they going to do after Dragon?
Baron.
Yeah.
So go bot.
So go bot. Yes, that's the point. The point is, so when you are...
I should have...
Yeah, go ahead.
So I guess my point was I should have been top, and then after
if you were top
I should have been
30
bot.
seconds ago, yes, it would have been the correct thing.
Yeah.
But then because we're at this point, so there's two things to do once you're coming back. So you say you're down by like 6 minutes, you're gonna do this stuff I'm saying opposite side, you know, get these gold bounties, whatever, and then you get to the Baron. If you're strong enough by Baron, because maybe you're only down 4k gold, or maybe you know you do have someone who's really fed, or like for example, if a Heimer has death cap, even if your team's very behind, he can fuck people at Baron. In that case, even though you're behind, go to Baron, because Baron will reduce their resistances if they try it, and it gives you the opportunity to actually get a comeback, and we do want to be around it. But in this case, you guys are so far behind, and you're not strong at all. Like, you don't have very much gold. So it's better to just be like, okay, it's first Baron. You said earlier, first Baron's not the end of the world. So yes, first Baron matters more than Dragon, but you're going to lose the first Baron if you just go in 5v5. And so, again, this is where the critical thinking comes in. Usually, yes, you do want to be around the Baron. I want that to be the typical habit. But if you realize it's going to be pretty much unwinnable around Baron anyway, use the fact that you know they're on Dragon, and then you know they're obviously going to go to Baron to go bot side, and then push bot side. Make sense?
Okay. Yep. 100%. Yep.
Cool. We can start the replay unless you have questions, but yeah. And like, say your teammates picked off Ezreal there, it's maybe okay to then go top side because you have this brief 5v4. But obviously, like, it took quite a while, so. But like at this point, I don't mind too much that you're here, because this is the time where maybe fighting can somewhat work because you have a 4v5 briefly. But I don't think Ezreal's that strong, so he's not really like overly valuable. So it didn't matter that much. And then even like using your turret ult here. Again, how are we gonna win the game? It's probably the enemy starting Baron and then us getting a miracle, not steal, but like damage on them. So you'd probably not use your big turret on them. You'd probably wait till they start Baron and use your big like I don't know what it's called. Yeah, either of your bombs really, like depending on which ability looks better in the situation. But the point is like that'd be a way more valuable use than our turret. That they're gonna kill the turret. Like nobody's gonna die from the turret, and everyone's full HP, right? Like the turret's gonna be like when someone jumps on us and we need something to tank for us, or we need just like the DPS that we can basically kite into. So.
No, I think I struggle the most when playing Baron and mid, like during the laning phase. Like for the most part, I think I kind of know where to be if I'm winning.
Yeah.
But if I'm losing, that's kind of probably my struggle, is like where to be after that.
Yeah.
Especially when the whole team's losing.
Yeah, I mean, those are obviously hard games, and That's the thing that we need to understand is ultimately that you're going to lose a majority of these games that are already down 8K, even if you do what I'm telling you, because you're down 8K. Like, the point is
Right.
that we're trying to win 20% of those games instead of 10. But then
Yep.
obviously, like, if we consistently win the winning games, that's like the most important. And yeah, those are the easier ones because you just play more to match people. You play more just to have basic fights and just do the basic things you need to do. So in these games, yeah, it's definitely more about understanding the play opposite side, and you can apply this to every role. There isn't a rule where this isn't gonna be the case.
Work.
So yeah, that's kind of the general thing. And it's about playing around our win conditions. So some games you're going to be down 5k gold, but you're going to be a 3-item Heimer, and it's okay that you're down 5k. You can continue to group because your champion will be really good there. And there's different games where you're behind and it doesn't make sense to group, or the enemy or champions who can really easily jump on top of you and you're not going to do it. Like, it just all depends. But I want that to be in your mind. And then yeah, the laning phase stuff, a lot of it just has to do with
managing
basically
the wave.
Yeah, I mean, in the hard matchups for you, again, we don't necessarily see you playing the easier matchup, but like in the harder matchup, yeah, it's when the wave gets fucked. Either you use all your HP to unfuck it and then you leave, or you let them push when they often do push because they're like, even though not everyone's going to, a majority of the bad players, which are going to be a majority of the players you play against, they will push it randomly anyway. You just let them do that.
Right.
And then also, yeah, your ability usage in lane is very poor. Very often you use it on a minion that's not going to die, and then the minion gets pushed, and then the enemy can freeze on you, and you lose the last hits and whatnot. And you also do kind of just mess up a lot of your last hits, which is ultimately just playing more. But yeah. And it's not the end of the world to use an ability on a last hit if like you know you're not going to get it, but you also, I mean, it's, I guess last hitting can be a little awkward with Heimer under turret because your turrets kind of like make it weirder. So you also often don't want to have your turrets under turret helping you last hit because it makes it really hard to actually last hit properly. So yeah.
You'd say like the majority of lane, if I can use my abilities to poke instead of last hit, unless like
basically
I'm
always.
losing lane.
Because again, like, what's your goal?
Okay.
Your goal is to keep people in lane, basically not let them roam, and just get all the gold from the lane that you can. So the way you're going to do that is 1, by proccing first strike, and 2, by keeping the enemy in the lane. And the way you're going to keep them there is by keeping them low. Because let's say you get Yasuo to half health. He has 2 options. He can recall or he can stay in lane. He's not going to go roam on half health, or if he does, he'll die half the time. And then you get to push the wave for free. So as long as his health is not full, and you have the pressure in the lane, then you're happy with that. Because you're completely happy as a Heimerdinger to go even every lane. Even though your champ is broken in lane, you can just go even. Like, you don't have to overforce. You do the basic things in lane, you whittle them down, and then by having them lower health, it means they have to make bad choices. It means they have to recall and lose gold. It means they have to, if they do roam, they really fuck themselves and they die more often on the roam, or like a number of other things that are just beneficial for you. So it's just about getting that health lead. And yeah, like playing around your turrets, obviously, and this is a harder lane to play around your turrets because of the Yasuo. So I mean, I get that, but yeah.
Yeah. I remember who I banned. I always ban Lee Sin because I hate going against a good Lee Sin.
That's a fine ban. And again, it's about what you think is, making your games the hardest. Like for me, I banned Heimer because Heimer is the one champion where I can't beat him in lane because his turrets just means he has constant pressure, and I can't get poke on him in lane. Like as like a Syndra, for example, or like, I'm usually playing control mages, so those lanes are just super hard, and I don't like going even in lane against someone way worse than me, which is what Heimer lets. It's the same as like Garen lets a player who's way worse than me go even in lane, in top lane, because it's just like he's just very easy to play. So that's usually like how I look at my bans. But obviously, I will tell people they can ban any champion they want because it's just
like that gives them issues. Yeah,
it's just about what bothers you. I mean, even if it's just for fun. Like even if you just don't like playing against Heimer, like Heimer, I have the least fun playing against him. It's not even purely that I lose every time. I just hate playing against him because people don't play Heimer much. So I could probably ban something that would give me a higher win rate, but I don't care. It's just unfun. So I ban it. Sometimes my teammates troll me. They're like, "Why'd you ban Heimer?" And they get mad. So that happens every once in a while. It's funny. There's not really anything else to talk about here. I mean, we'll see, but you're down 10k gold. I mean, you lose in 44 seconds, so I'm in.
Yeah. No, it's funny when people troll. It's just...
You stole Baron. That's funny.
Yeah,
once you stole Baron, you should have realized that you can just get out too. Like, this is again thinking about the win condition. Like, we just stole Baron, we can stall the game, but you can't stall the game if you guys are gonna die. You're not gonna win the fight. You're down 10k gold. So understanding that also
No,
could have been
we
important.
all die, yeah.
I mean,
Then
you
they
probably would
win.
have
I
got
think.
chased down and died anyway, but it's just something to keep in mind. I'm going to share my screen and write the notes out with you. So.
Sure.
Let me know when you see my screen.
Yeah, 1 second here. Going back to Discord. All right, got it.
So you see it?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll start with the Lulu notes, and then we'll go from there. So the first thing for you was don't go river right away. And again, as I'm writing these, if at any point you have questions or I word something in a way that doesn't make sense or really anything at all, just interrupt me, because obviously the point of the notes is for you to get value from them. It doesn't matter if it makes sense to me, if it doesn't make sense to you. But yeah, don't go river right away. I think that's a pretty straightforward one. Don't over worry about, or don't worry too much about words, I guess. About words, just word after pushing. And like also stopping the words, like you don't need to clear a word. Like again, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I die way too much clearing wards, and I'm like, this probably doesn't even matter that much for me
Yeah.
to clear it. So I probably should just not.
Yeah, I mean that's how I really think about the game in general. Is like, is this actually leading towards me winning or losing the game? That's why I said multiple times, would, like, for example, losing that tier 2 turret ever really lose you the game, or whatever. Like there's things that will just never lose you the game. Yes, they're important small habits to build that maybe will help you win every 1 in 100 games, but optimizing those 1 in 100 things you do after you've gotten better at all the more like standard things.
Right.
Yeah, I mean either way, like how you dealt with words was fine. There's just, obviously I didn't see a situation where you died for a word, but yeah, obviously not good to die for a word.
No.
Other thing is get on wave before enemy, level 1. What was that? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I do that though, and that's stupid. So
it happens.
But
yeah, get on the wave before enemy level 1. Like prio is king. Like that's always important to understand. You guys didn't really play around that, and then create a triangle. You know what I mean by the triangle, or?
Yeah, yep. Where you're both attacking one person, and they can only attack one person, and the other person can't.
Yeah.
The fourth person.
So yeah, there's basically that. Then there's like into melee support. Support need to understand which levels they are scary on. So again, the Malphite's not scary to level 5, but most are going to be scary level 2 or 3, but not level 1. Do you know which minion gives you level 2 in dual lane?
Yeah, isn't it the first or second minion of the second wave?
The first, yeah. So first minion of second wave.
And then we trade hard after that if we get that right.
Yeah, if you get it first.
I mean, defending. Unless it's like a
almost
tank.
Always, unless again it's like a Draven Thresh into a Vayne Lulu. Unless it's like that level of bad, you're gonna trade when you get level 2 before the enemy.
Okay.
It depends how, because sometimes you get it and their wave's like full HP, or your wave's full HP, I mean, so you know they're not gonna get it for a while. Sometimes you get it, but they have 1 more auto and they're about to get it. So you have to be aware of that, of course. But yeah, generally staying around the level diff is very important. Melee champions are a lot more reliant on level diffs. Like when you're playing these ranged champs, you're looking really hard to just get this consistent poke on the enemy, which is why creating that triangle, spacing the enemy, melee support and that type of thing is really important. And so the fact that you were losing those trades level 1 was a big problem, because it kind of led to your whole lane being bad when that should be your strongest point. Whereas the melee champions, they're pretty much just trying to create that one all-in angle. So but yeah, just generally in lane, I think that's mostly what I need you to be aware of, and it just comes down to practice. And also, like, don't be afraid of a high range champ like Kate. If you win I don't know how to describe it. Like, if you win when you guys are both auto attacking each other, then you don't need to be so scared about it. But I don't know how to say that properly. But like,
just say don't. Yeah.
If you win,
don't be afraid of Kate range. I'd say.
Don't be afraid of high range champs like Kate. That's probably understandable. Yeah. So if we're doing that, and again, you could have easily fucked the Caitlyn, because a lot of Kates will be greedy like that. Ashe has higher DPS than Kate, but still, these types of champs, when they have a melee support, especially one who either doesn't have the engage yet, or again, they waste their engage. Like Leona might miss her third ability, or Nautilus might miss his hook. You need to punish those 10 seconds. And I don't know the exact number, right? But for the next 5 seconds, be aggressive. And then you're like, okay, it's been 5 seconds. It's probably coming back up soon. I don't know the number. You
Yep.
don't need to know that. But obviously, it's going to be roughly 10 seconds. Like, that's just typically going to be a
Right.
normal cooldown. So we want to keep that in mind. So even though it's not something
Yep.
that was actually
Because
mentioned.
they're not dangerous at that point. Yeah.
Punish enemy ECDs. Yeah, I'll say cooldowns. But then the last thing was be more intentional. The last thing in lane was be more intentional with spell usage in lane. So what I mean by that is like use shield only when
To last hit.
yeah, teammate
Yeah.
needs the last hit. Last hit or when he's trading. Because yeah, like shielding champs, it's really about timing. Whereas like if you're like a healing support, obviously you can kind of just heal someone whenever. You heal them more out of combat, unless you're like a Nami, but you usually heal them out of combat because then they don't have like ignite or anti-heal on them or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, then out of lane, follow, carry, pretty straightforward. Spell tracking.
The winning condition, yeah.
Other than that, I think
So
it's
out of
most-
curiosity,
go ahead.
like say the Yi like was terrible that game,
Yeah.
would you just go with the person with the most gold at that point?
I mean,
Or would you still follow
most-
your Yi kind of?
most of the time, yeah, it's going to be the person. Like, it depends on what level of gold they're at. Like, let's say Master Yi is down like 500 compared to our teammates, we might still follow him. But yeah, if
That's
like our
so funny,
Darius is up, is like a 1k above all of our teammates or winning lane, we'll follow like the Darius, for example, and make his game easier. That's usually how it'll go.
Got it.
But it all depends. I think the only other thing was like,
Would you still follow Darius?
Yeah.
Like if he was split pushing though, you know what I mean?
no, it's going to be completely dependent. So it's like very often the way that I would approach it, if I don't have anyone particularly strong to follow apart from like my Baron laner, would be use control of mid to then rotate and hover him on side after.
Okay.
So usually I'll still be hovering mid, get the mid wave push, and then after mid wave push, then I'll go and hover.
Got it.
But yeah, I mean, it's also more like about the fight. So it's like you might not follow your Darius while he's split pushing at 9 minutes in the game, but when he groups for Dragon at 10:30, he's going to be the person who's shielding or peeling more often in the fights. So
that makes sense. Yep.
And of course, again, like it doesn't mean you can never ult your teammate. Like if your Master Yi is 1 HP, you can still ult him sometimes to protect him. Like, but yeah, you get the point. And then the other thing is like base positioning on specific situation rather than always being far back. Most of the time, we do want to be far back. We want to be usually the farthest back. But again, there were like times where the only person in front of you was the tank. You can walk past him and go and ult your Master Yi or something. And you need to be aware of those specific situations where, yes, like your fed person or your stronger person is someone who's more aggressive. You might have to be a little bit more putting yourself in the front line or whatever. And then I guess just like random spell usage. You kind of like waste your ult sometimes when someone's already dead, but I don't know. That's just a small thing. I don't really need to type that out or anything. I would say those are all the things. Do you have any questions about the Lulu stuff?
No, I think those are good main things. Like if you were to, again, like I want to focus on like maybe 1 or 2 things at a time, like you always say.
Yeah.
Like what 2 would you think are the most important to focus on and then like immediacy? Probably I'm thinking like shielding obviously not walking through river is an easy one.
Yeah.
But I would say like, shielding it during last hits are probably the best, and then like considering the matchups, like if it's tank, push hard type thing.
Yeah, ultimately, yeah, like so there are things that are like I say about the building the habits, and then there's things that are very simple. So yeah, like the river one you can just do because it's simple, it doesn't require much thought.
Simple.
But yeah, for like the harder ones or like the ones that actually take time, getting on the wave right away and prio, these things are very like related. So
important.
Just generally focusing on prio is going to be like the thing about having prio is it doesn't and you're playing champs like Lulu or like scaling champs, it makes it very easy to not lose lane getting prio. It doesn't necessarily always mean you're going to win lane. Like it's very often you're going to go even if you're mega focusing on prio because then the enemy just farm under the turret, and you're happy to have that happen as a champion like Lulu. So yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I do have a question about Prio when
Yeah,
playing Lulu, because
yeah,
I know a lot of times, like say we're playing Leona, Samira, or like a Draven,
yeah.
Nautilus, or whatever. Like their goal is to also freeze the wave and then all
Mm-hmm.
in us.
Yeah.
What do you suggest in those situations? Like, would you say like kind of let them push into us and try to freeze kind of near a turret where they can't build a big wave and like all in us?
Yeah, so it's
Or do you
very
still say,
situational, and
yeah,
I do find that for whatever reason, whenever I'm coaching people, they never show me those games, and I think it's honestly because they get stomped in lane so hard that they don't want to show me it. Like that's my theory because I will get asked this question that you just asked me, but they will never show me
yeah.
an example of it, and so it's a lot harder to explain when I don't see an example.
I'll give an example next time. What I've
Yeah,
been doing recently, it's been working is like
yeah,
pushing the first wave for Prio,
hmm
because they're not that strong. And then after that, when they're like level 2 or 3, like you said, when they're stronger, like letting them push into
yeah,
us and then kind of like freezing where it's not a big wave. That's where I've had the most success.
yeah, and that is the
Um,
thing is ultimately it comes down to like Draven, for example, he still has very short range. He can be
yep,
outspaced, and Leona, yeah, she doesn't really have the greatest engage early until she gets level 2. So yeah, you initially want Prio most of the time, but it depends on the situation. Because if we're into Draven Thresh, we
right,
can't even get Prio level 1. But if we're into
right,
Leona and Samira, we can get Prio because Leona and Samira are actually very dependent on landing the engage. So it's more about
right,
not getting hit by Leona E. Like if you just space it properly,
right,
you're aware of it, you have your polymorph, like also prepare your polymorph. Like if you polymorph Samira as that happens, they're not going to fuck you
yeah,
that hard on the all in. You're going to be fine. So don't waste your
right,
polymorph. Be aware of those types of things. Have the prio, and you'll be fine. But if you're into a Draven Thresh where they can mega control level 1, you can let them push
yeah,
a bit harder because there's not as much you can do. So it
okay,
comes down to the specific matchup, but the main things are you use the
sure,
prio to get level diff so that you don't have to worry as hard about that. But if they're just too
yep,
strong early, which is going to be the case in some matchups, you let them push into you, and you just have to be aware of their engage range, and that's pretty much the gist of it.
okay, yep. No, that makes perfect sense. Thanks for that.
Any other questions about the Lulu stuff?
I did want to ask too.
Yeah.
Well, this is like I should know this by now, but like, is there really a difference between the support items? I usually just go Relic
Yeah.
Shield because you get health back
Yeah,
and it helps you get
I
level
like
two
just made a
faster.
support laning video, by the way. I think it'll come out in a couple days. Um,
Okay, yeah, I'll
I
watch
talked
it.
about that
Yeah,
briefly, but I'll explain it. I'm just saying you might want to watch that at some point. But yeah, so
yeah,
basically, as a tank, we're always going to take relic, obviously. As an
right.
enchanter, um, basically, I will take relic shield when I'm in a hard matchup because in hard matchups, one, I get more HP, so I don't die as easily, and two, I
Yep.
can pressure wave better because I can last hit. Um, and then the other time we're going to want relic shield is when we're in a matchup we just want to scale in because it makes it easy to get prio. So like if I'm
Yep.
Vayne Lulu into Tristan Emilio, nobody's probably gonna
Relic Shield.
die unless a jungle is involved or someone sucks. And so I only really care about having prio so that I can get small things like vision for ward, or ward for vision. Like those smaller things, and having prio matters, so it's easier to get prio with relic. The time where I want
Right.
sickle is pretty much when I want to dominate lane. It gives me more HP or more AP
Yeah,
rather. It gives me more damage. And so
like
if I'm
Nami
like
or
Karma and
Karma.
Ezreal into whatever Vayne Lulu or something, that's when I'm gonna
Sure.
take sickle. So I mean I'll just write that
Okay.
basically.
So Sickle is just for like Nami and Karma when you're trying to dominate lane.
Yeah.
Um, Tanks are always Relic Shield. And then I have no clue when to take. I don't even know what coin because I knew Sickle gave you like extra damage and extra gold for hitting the
Yeah.
hitting them, like with abilities and stuff and auto attacks. I think just abilities.
Sorry,
But
which
I don't
one?
really know
Relic
what.
shields? Or I mean not relic. Sorry,
No, no.
sickle. No, no, but you said
Yeah,
sickle. If you even auto attack someone when you're near someone,
you
it will give you the
give
proc.
you gold.
And it
Yeah.
also if you auto attack a turret when you're near when you're near your
Oh,
teammate.
okay.
So that's just something to
Um.
know. But obviously you have to have a
Okay. Yeah.
stack. But yeah.
Yep. And then I actually don't know the benefit of coin at all between like I know the benefits of Relic Shield and Sickle, but
Coin, I'm like 95% sure because I never use it either. But coin, I'm pretty sure is if your teammate last hits a minion near you, it just gives you the stack. So the
oh, okay.
point of it is just the stats, but the stats are worse compared to like a
Yeah.
relic
So
shield. So
just go
I
Relic
never ever
Shield
go
or
it. The only champion
okay.
you should go it on is Pike because Pike doesn't
Okay.
want sickle and Pike doesn't do well with HP because I think
Okay.
HP for Pyke is like converted into AD, like he's not allowed to build HP. So Pyke goes
Okay.
relic, or Pyke goes coin. But
Coin.
yeah, no, just don't go
Okay.
coin, basically.
Okay. Perfect. Yep. Nope. That's perfect.
Yeah. Any other questions about this stuff?
I think that's it. Oh,
Okay.
one more
Yeah.
is when you're support, when do you go like heal versus exhaust? Like I think heal is good for lane because it keeps you in lane longer, but I think exhaust is more beneficial like throughout the game and like against like assassins and um or would you say just as a support always go heal?
No, so exhaust is gonna be against hard all in. What I mean by that is like again, they're
Samira?
Draven and Thresh.
Yeah.
They're gonna find one engage, they go on us. So like the exhaust is gonna stop a lot of their DPS.
Okay.
Heal is when we're needing sustain against
So like
poke.
against Kate.
Yeah, against poke, like Caitlyn or something.
Yep.
In a hard matchup that does not all in, or
Okay.
that is
So that'd
not
be
like all
heal.
in focused. So
And
yeah.
you'd say only use heal or exhaust for a
No, I
support,
was gonna
right?
write Ignite next.
Oh, okay, okay.
Ignite
If
when
you're gonna win.
wanting to win lane. Yeah. Like, so if
Yeah.
I'm Karma Ezreal, or even if you're Lulu Caitlyn and you're into someone weaker, like you can do
Yep.
it on even Lulu. A lot of Lulus, I don't
Okay.
recommend this, but I've been seeing a lot of Lulus and Emilios going double combat spells, like heal Ignite, for example,
So
or
I
exhaust
tried
Ignite.
that for a while, but not having this capability really
Yeah, no,
sucks.
I don't
So
recommend it, but I do see it a lot. Usually the time that they do it is like they'll be playing duo and their goal is to fuck lane super hard. I don't recommend it
yeah,
though. It's just a thing people do.
yeah.
But yeah,
I know
Ignite
there's
is when
that
we
one
want to
guy
win
you
lane.
always play
So
with
what's up?
who always the one guy you always play with who always takes both the Maokai or whatever.
Oh yeah, well, I think it's a she because her name says Lexi, but she's a Leona main, and she does that on every single engage support, like Maokai,
Yeah,
Leona, Nautilus. It's weird. Um, I don't know. That player is not that bad though. Like they're a decent player. It's a weird thing to do. But yeah, no.
yeah.
I mean, these are basically the things. I mean, I would probably default to heal, and then
Okay,
you switch to the others in these situations.
cool. Yeah,
Any other
nope, that's all my
questions?
questions
Okay,
there.
then the
Nope.
last thing
Go
is
ahead,
I didn't
Malcolm.
actually end up finishing telling you all the most important things. Like I said, the prio stuff's the
Okay,
most important. Triangle is probably the other most important thing, which is like the
okay.
triangle relates to like punishing that Caitlyn, like
Yep.
both walking up rather than being scared of her. And then these other things are obviously just things to, like those are all early game things. So I would say point 3 through 5 are like the early game things, and then when you go after early game, probably just focus
Yep.
mostly on like the spell tracking aspect of things, and those are probably. And then obviously once you get better at those, you go on to the other stuff.
Okay.
Okay, then for Heimer, so the first thing is take ignites or defensive spell. So like if they have a Vi jungle, I take cleanse usually because I don't want to get camped.
Yep.
Or I mean, I'll probably take ignite most of the time on Heimer. Like I said, if I'm Syndra, I'll be taking exhaust or barrier a lot more, which you would go
Yep.
exhaust if they have assassins basically, and you would go barrier if there's
Barrier
a bunch of
effect.
poke. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the ignite is like more of a Heimer thing because Heimer does actually win lane hard, so I would just go for that most of the time, or a defensive spell if you like there's something that's really gonna fuck you. Because Zed ult too, like if they have like Zed and maybe like Zed Akali, like you're gonna be like I'll go exhaust there. So you can think about that,
Yeah.
but you kind of get that point, and then I'm trying to think
This is
exactly.
also probably a stupid question because I'm probably gonna take what I think would be most beneficial for the whole game. But like, are you taking like say you're laning against Oriana and she's poke, but everyone else is like an assassin or
Yeah,
high DPS? Are you taking exhaust then?
it's so
Or
that's that specific situation I will be taking exhaust, but there's gonna be more nuance to it. It's like it's ultimately about what you think is gonna be.
helpful the most? Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to give you like this is what you do always
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's kind of what's going to be the absolute. It's not necessarily just what's the most helpful. It's what's the most often to actually again win me the game. So for example,
Yeah.
having barrier against a poke champion is usually not going to like lead to me getting a solo kill or lead to something super specific. It's just like, oh, I couldn't take exhaust this game. I couldn't take cleanse this
Yeah.
game. Barrier is going to give me the most value. Whereas exhaust
Right.
very often stops a Zed or an Akali from one-shotting me. So it's like,
Yep.
if I have the choice between exhaust and barrier and it's close, I'm almost always going to default
Exhaust.
to exhaust rather, because
Yeah.
it's just like more likely to actually save my life, and saving my life is usually going to be more beneficial. So that's how I think
Beneficial.
about those types of things,
Yeah.
but it is going to be very situational.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, and then basically goal of lane is to play around turrets, dominate lane, and find a recall on mana boots. Like these are like the early goals, and it's basically just get golds. Like ultimately, into this harder matchup, obviously it was a little more difficult. Basically, don't use abilities on minions unless
Use
the
them for-
goal, unless you can last hit, or the goal is to recall, right? Like you're pushing to recall.
Right.
If enemy are pushing wave into us, just let them. You know, don't push it back.
hmm
Um,
It's like the one video where you said like players can't help themselves and they like do stupid things because they're
mhm.
like they don't want to lose anything. I don't know if you remember saying that.
Yeah, because there
It's
was a
like,
situation where I solo killed. It's the assassin mid lane laning
yeah,
video where they wanted to walk up because they were like, I had the wave in like basically the spot that Yasuo had the wave in against you, and yeah, I ult
yeah,
him because he really wanted a last hit that didn't make any sense because he
and
was like 30% HP.
it's the same thing with like wave management too. It's like I
Yeah.
feel like I should be pushing the wave when like there's no reason to. It's stupid.
Well, I mean,
So
like go watch, for example, me play Syndra. I almost never
hmm
have Prio on Syndra on the first 3 levels
right.
because Prio doesn't do anything at the first 3 levels because you're not going to make a play on the
Mhm.
first 3 levels. The
Right.
earliest time you could ever make a play is 125 on Scuttle, but that's very rare. The
Yep.
realistic first time you're going to do anything is when you get your first recall, you get level 5, and you come back to lane, then you roam after you push a
Yep.
wave. Like that's the typical thing. So I don't need Prio early. If I have a health lead, that's what matters. Health lead for the first 3
Yep.
is going to let me get Prio for the next 2, which are what matters. So
Right.
getting good trades is infinitely more important,
Nope.
and that's
Makes
kind of
sense.
what you're not valuing as much. And then again, the fact that you spam your abilities meant you didn't have mana to push, because even with the fuck ups you had, you still should have been able to recall before Yasuo on level 4 because the wave was
Yeah.
pushing, but then you didn't push it fully because you didn't have mana for it. So even those situations,
Yep.
usually it doesn't matter. Like again, the assassin laning video, I made a lot of mistakes in lane. I got poked out in lane. A lot of times I'd be losing lane. I'd be half health, and yet then I recall first. I don't lose anything, and then I get back to lane. And I'm still coming out on top at the end. So it's not like you actually have to be winning
Yeah.
all these trades for it to really matter.
Right.
But yeah, there's that. And then if enemy roam, almost always just push.
Okay. Yeah, especially with mages.
Yeah, I mean that's the point. Is obviously if you're playing an assassin, it's gonna be different. Like I have the video that kind of explains the assassin roaming.
Yep.
I have the video on like gold per minute in mid lane, and it explains kind of the differences, like depending on the champion you're
Right.
playing. Ultimately, again, everything comes down to like, what is my goal? What does my champion do well? And you play around that. But these are most of the laning phase things. Do you have questions about lane phase or anything more?
No, that makes
Okay.
sense.
Then yeah,
Pretty much just
after
focus on wave
yeah,
stuff and wave management.
yeah, and I have a full wave management guide again in the Google Doc. You can find it there.
Okay.
There's
That's
things
super
like,
helpful, by the way.
yeah, I'm glad to hear. So yeah, then we have the later parts of the game. Basically, your issue here is everything to do with coming back in a game that's losing, and it's basically play opposite side of enemy, win behind, and basically the same thing, but just saying it slightly differently is win behind. We want numbers across the map to be different, which basically, like, for example, 2v1 plus a 3v4 or a 4v3, or a 3v4, yeah. Or rather than a 1v1 and a 4v4. Does it make sense when I say it like this or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much make a numbers advantage somewhere else
Yeah.
rather than in a losing situation having the exact same numbers.
Yeah, and again, situational, but generally that's how it goes. And then usually,
Yeah, because vice versa, if I'm stronger than Yasuo, I want to be at that 4v, 3v3 or
yeah,
whatever.
you can be
So,
matching because yeah, like you think you can fuck hard enough. Though yeah, Heimer's probably not gonna be able to do that till like death cap
right.
because he's not
Right.
weak early game, but Heimer is strong in lane early game, but he's not necessarily super strong
No,
with
he's not a good
skirmishes.
roamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it all depends. But yeah, basically, yeah, you did match the Yasuo, and Yasuo not only was ahead of you and had twice as much HP than you and twice as much. Well, he doesn't have mana, but you get the point. You had no mana,
Yep.
and you're also worse, even if you guys were even gold and you were fighting those.
Yep.
So we just
And then
want
he
less
got
of
a
that.
kill and I got nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then usually once Baron spawns, we start to group around Baron. Unless behind so much.
Yep. I'd say it's fine for the first Baron especially, but maybe the second Baron, like that might be the one where we
I
just
mean,
have to like
you still
for
most
it.
of the time are gonna want to be around the Baron because the thing is, first Baron spawns right around when second Dragon is spawning, and it's
Right. So you
extremely
could swap.
common. Yeah, it's extremely common that people go second Dragon and then you can sneak the Baron, and you have high
Yeah.
DPS on Baronesheimer. So it's all yeah. You're gonna have to read the situation because again, we said you were down 6k gold there. I wanted you to actually
Yeah.
let them take Dragon, go Baron, ignore Baron, like as in you go bot side and you let them go Baron.
Yep.
Just because of the unique situation we were in. But as a general rule, I do want you to understand that the Baron is
Be
what you
around
need to be
Baron.
more concerned with.
For sure.
Yeah. And other than that, I mean, you didn't have much that you did this late game. Pretty much all of this late game to mid game was me telling you run away from the enemy and go get gold, and you were going and fighting with your team.
Yep.
So there's not a whole lot other. Yeah. Are there other questions about this stuff or anything?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
No, I appreciate it.
Then
Also, I'm gonna send you 25 more because we went like 30 minutes over the hour.
I don't. You
so
don't have to
wanna...
do that. I don't care. Like I go over a lot.
Well,
it's not really a problem.
okay. Well, I'm gonna do it just to be nice
Well,
and
that's
show
fine. I like
appreciation.
money, so I won't complain about that.
No.
But either way, see you later and good luck.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Bye.